Hello, and thank you for joining us for our Fireside Chat. It has been a while since we have done a Fireside Chat, so we're happy to be back. This session, usually we do them live, but this session is pre-recorded. We do have some folks from the team who are on vacation, and this was the best time for them to find Wi-Fi and find a time to pre-record. So we really wanted to make sure we got to you with this information. We are going to be talking today about the PMFRC annual general meeting. Our board of directors, and why that entire process is so important for an organization like ours, and by extension to our entire military community in Petawawa. In terms of who's joining us today, Claudia Beswick has the lovely scenery behind her. She is our executive director. And Andrea Damon is here as well. Andrea is the vice chair of our board of directors. So she is joining us as well. Welcome, Andrea. Sorry, I apologize, Andrea Davies. I apologize. She is here joining us as well. Claudia, it has been a hot minute since we have been here. And a lot of things have changed in the community in terms of standards for COVID, rules for COVID. What's happening with the PMFRC? What is available for folks who want to have support? They might be new to the community. What can they do? How can they contact the PMFRC?
Well, I hope everyone's enjoying their summer holidays so far. I'm coming to you from Manitoba, visiting my family. So it's been pretty good. The weather's been awesome in both provinces. So even though staff are getting a chance to take their summer holidays, we're still able to bring you the full suite of services that we always have available. So deployment support, whether a member is deployed, away, or training on exercise, or even if you're an IR family, you can reach out to our military family navigators if you have any questions, concerns, or just looking for information. If you're new to the community, like Julie said, and there's general information that you are looking for, you can reach out either on the south side or the north side locations and speak with our information service assistants. If you haven't yet done the welcome tour or had an in-depth session with them, please make sure you reach out to them. They'd be happy to set you up with that. If you require more specialized support as you settle into the community, again, reach out to the family navigators. We do have a family navigator on duty every day, so you don't need to pre-plan your appointments. And we can connect you with resources in the community. We can just give you a shout out to where all the fun stuff is to do in Petawawa. Our mental health team is also available to support families, adults, children, youth. If you're looking for mental health supports, information about other services in the community, or if you just need to see a social worker, all are available. And our specialized care, which a lot of you may know formerly as our casual care program, is available if you have appointments, job interviews, if you're dealing with pack or load dates, or even respite care. It's not meant to be a full-time daycare service, but a casual care program that's suited to support all of the unique challenges that military families face. And also our employment service office are also open in both locations in Petawawa and Deep River. For those new to Petawawa, our employment services team has a contract with the Ministry of Labor Training and Skills Development, and they can provide a full suite of services if you're looking for work in the community. And I'm sure Julie will make sure all of those respective contact information will be available in the comments below. And I just want to add, finally, stay tuned. As over the next few weeks and months, we will be doing Facebook Live, showcasing the various departments and all of the amazing services that we're able to bring to the community. We have quite a few new staff. So in addition to the Meet Me at the PMFRC, which you should be sure to check out on our CAF Connection website, we're going to go a little bit more in depth in each of the departments to give an overview of all of the services and programs that are available.
Thank you. And if you are a new family to Petawawa, please don't be shy. We would love to meet you. If there's anything that you need, give us a call or drop by our Southside Community Center or our Northside office. We'd be happy to chat with you and put a name to a face. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be talking about the annual general meeting, the board of directors. There's a lot around that. But before we start, can you just sort of talk about the board of directors overall? Who's on our board and what are the kinds of things that the board is responsible for?
Sure. The board of directors is made up of 12 board members, and we are collectively just a group of people that are from the local community. At least 51% of us are in a military family. And if I could just simplify the role, it's really to provide oversight and set the strategic direction of the organization.
Thank you. So Claudia, the annual general meeting, as the name implies, we do this every year. So can you talk a little bit about what our AGM is and why it is so important? I think a lot of people may not know that they are invited to attend the AGM. So what is it and why do we have one?
The purpose of the AGM is to give our CAF members and their families an opportunity to meet board members, ask any questions on key issues, and receive information about the MFRC. But foremost, the AGM is something that we are legally required to do as we're a registered charity under the Ontario Non-for-Profit Corporations Act. So an AGM is a meeting of its members, and the members, in addition to the board of directors, is also the eligible voting members of the CAF community and their families and the veteran community. And the AGM takes place once a year, usually around the same time, give or take a week. We hold ours in mid-September. The main business that's conducted at the meetings are, presentation of our annual financial statements, our annual report, which is a review of everything we've done in the previous fiscal year, and highlights the activities and services. We have some invited guests from the garrison, as well as from our main funders from Military Family Services, and they will also say a few words during the AGM. For eligible members who can vote, the eligible members who vote will have a few things that they need to vote on at the AGM. And because the AGM is virtual this year, that voting will take place through a poll through Zoom. The documentation for the AGM, and I think Andrea will talk a little bit more about that, that will all be made available 2 weeks prior to the AGM. So usually the first week of September, the documents will be uploaded. Everybody has a good couple of weeks to review everything before that. And all in all, the meeting takes about an hour, and it's a bit of fun. And we have a pretty cool door prize too every year that we give out. So for those that register, they'll be eligible for that door prize. Did I miss anything?
No, Andrea? So Andrea, one of the things that happens at an annual general meeting, it's an opportunity for the board, for the organization to make changes to their bylaws. What would be covered in the bylaws for an organization like the PMFRC? What kind of changes would we be talking about? And how does that process happen? How do those changes come about?
Okay. So the bylaws of the organization is really just a set of rules that guide us. And anytime we're making any decisions as a board, we can look at those rules, and it's really our do's and don'ts. So we're not making any mistakes. Another way to explain it would be to say it protects us as an organization and gives us guidance. In our bylaws, it sets out our purpose. It talks about our committees, what everybody's role is on the board. I think you asked me about, did we get into talking about changes this year, or are you going to ask me about that next?
That's part and parcel of this question. So are we making changes to the bylaws, and what's the process to make that happen? How does this what are the steps that have to happen for those changes to go through?
So our board of directors has a subcommittee. It's called the Governance Committee. And as the vice chair of the board, I sit as the chair of the Governance Committee. Claudia also comes to our meetings, and we currently have 2 other board members, Tara and Michelle, that attend those meetings. And this past year, we really looked at changes that are coming in the legislation. So the Ontario Charities Act language has to be incorporated in our bylaws by 2023. So we had to go through those documents, and we had to look at things like rules around things like buying and selling of assets. We had to put that into our bylaws. We made a number of other changes to the bylaws, such as like expanding definitions, clarifying the different levels of memberships. Those are all important changes that we need to have so that they're clear, so that they're following legislation. And the AGM is really the only time that we can vote to accept those changes. So it's really important that we discuss it and we make that vote at the AGM. And if you're looking for a copy of the document, I would say check out the CAF Connection website.
So
Julie, before we carry on, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't add that Andrea and the governance committee has worked really hard. In addition to the bylaws, they're working on the governance and the HR policies. And one of the really good things that they've been implementing within the policy review is the inclusion piece and the language. And so although that's not a part of any of the Charities Act, it is a commitment and one of our guiding values in the organization that we are a very inclusive place for people to come. So, you know, that's also a part and parcel in some of the changes in the bylaws as well.
So as Andrea said, those bylaws are available on CAF Connection. And leading up to the meeting, we will make sure that updated copies are there so people are able to see sort of what's there and then what those proposed changes are. If you'd like to peruse the bylaws, you are more than welcome to do that as well. Just one thing, we didn't really talk about it earlier, but you talked about subcommittees. There's the governance subcommittee. What are the other subcommittees that the board would make up?
We have an executive committee. So our executive is our chair, our vice chair, our treasurer, and our secretary. So one committee is the executive. The governance committee I've already spoken about. We also have a development committee, and I think they get to have all the fun. They plan all of our training events, and they also recruit new board members. And we have a finance committee, and they play a really important role in looking at the budget. And they're just so wonderful. If you're looking to learn about finance, join the board and join the finance committee because they do really important work for sure.
Because one of the things that we really wanted to touch on in this call was the fact that we are looking for new board members. We are looking for new people to step up and join the board to share their perspective and to share their expertise. So I think that, you know, by talking about some of these about some of these subcommittees, you can sort of talk about the range of responsibilities and the range of things that the board is involved in. Claudia, can you sort of talk about if someone is interested in maybe stepping up and joining the board, what's the process to make that happen, and who can apply?
So the board right now is inviting applications from CAF family members, community members interested in, you know, contributing their voice, their leadership, and experience to join the board. Our board is a body of elected members who jointly oversee and govern the operations of the organization, much like Andrea said. Some of the responsibilities range from attending our regular board meetings, making sure that information, packages, and all the materials are read in advance of the meeting, being an active member on some of the special working committees, in addition to one of the 4 ongoing committees, and participation in some of the special events. And we haven't had too many special events in the last couple of years because of COVID, but you know, things like Garrison Day, which is coming up, then, you know, board members are represented there. So they're a face of the organization and someone that, you know, are front facing with the community as well. And I think if you're interested, you can reach out to our volunteer coordinator, Sarah Gunter, and I'm sure, as usual, Julie will put that information in the comments below. And at that point, Sarah will forward all of the applications to the Board Development Committee Chair. They will review all applications and they will conduct individual interviews with those candidates that have applied. And then from there, suitable candidates would be able to participate in our first meeting in September, which I believe is the 7th of September, for an introduction to the full board. And then the next step would be putting their names forward at the annual general meeting for voting to be introduced to the board by the members, which would be those in attendance at the AGM who are eligible to vote.
Andrea, you've been on our board for a number of years. I believe that you were a member at large when you first joined, and now you are the vice chair of the board. Why do you sort of, you know, this is a pretty big volunteer role. Why did you agree to be on the board, and what do you enjoy about it?
I I really was looking to get back into volunteering after my last little guy was a little bit older. And I've always volunteered my whole life, but I'd never been on a board of directors. I was a little intimidated by it, but I shouldn't have been. Really. I got a chance to meet new people. I got a chance to have all the training that I needed. And it's a good place to learn. Like I didn't even understand what the word governance meant 6 years ago, and now I'm the governance committee chair. So I have to say, like, professionally, I've expanded my skills in a way I like never thought impossible, or that it would be possible. And like I said, I've made great friendships, and I really believe in what the MFRC does. It's important to me as a military family member to have an organization that supports families. Like, that's important to me. So I feel really good about giving my time to the organization. I see the good work that everyone who works for the PMFRC does. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, it's well worth your time.
And I think a point that you made that I think is that one thing that is important is that, so you see the word board of directors. I think sometimes people get intimidated. It seems like such a big job, and they may not think that they sort of, they're going to have a lot to add. But the fact that, bringing your voice to the table, like, and hearing from people, the fact that there is training provided, and, so if it's something you're interested in, check it out. Like, don't just dismiss it, check it out and look at the opportunity. Claudia, I think we touched on this really quickly earlier, but maybe we sort of expand on it. Who can come to the AGM and who can vote?
Anyone that is interested in attending the AGM can come. The eligible voting members are the CAF community, the CAF members and their families, veteran families, and they must be 18 years of age and older to be eligible to vote. So yeah, I think that's it. What else did you ask me? Sorry, I think I lost my train of thought.
And who can attend the AGM?
Who can attend? Anyone interested in attending can come. It's just for voting purposes. Only those eligible to vote can vote. And details for the registration will be on the website. And because we have to take official registration for the AGM, we have to be able to track the, make sure that we have adequate voting members. Pre-registration will be required. So the information on how to pre-register will be available at the same time as all the other documents when they're uploaded onto the website the first week of September. As people register, they'll need to provide a suitable email address, their contact number, and how they're affiliated with the CAF community, because that'll determine how many eligible voting members that we have.
So when you watch this video, the registration won't be open yet, but it is coming. So mark it in your calendars. Early September, we'll make sure that all of that information is available on social media. It's on our website, and we'll make it nice and easy to find so you can sign up. Andrea, is there anything else that's planned for the AGM? What else happens that people should know about?
Well, I mentioned that we're going to be voting in bylaws. We'll also be voting in new members. We usually have a guest that comes out, different topics. And we also really like to highlight the work that the organization has done over the past year. So I'd say it's kind of like a bragging night, we'll say. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you both for joining me. I know that the annual general meeting, like, it's something that we sort of see come on the calendar, but I think it's so important that people understand why it's so important, and the fact that everyone is invited to attend it. You are a part of this community, and this is a process that is open. The MFRC, we really believe in the idea of transparency and making sure that people understand the organization and how it works and how decisions are made. So this is a really important part of that. Is there anything else that people want to add before we go, or?
No, I think, I hope everyone has a wonderful summer, and stay tuned. We have quite a few more Fireside Chats coming to you. Probably, once Julie gets a chance to have her vacation as well. So looking forward to what's to come. September will be a busy month for all of us. And I know for the board as well, we're looking to fill 4 spots. And in addition to joining the board, there will be orientation and governance training for everybody. So even if those that are interested and think they don't know anything, we have training to take care of that. And a lot of mentors, the board really believes in the mentorship program. So new members will be mentored by members that, like Andrea, that have been with our board for a long time and has gained so much experience in supporting the CAF community. So yeah, a lot more to come.
Thank you both so much for joining us. Thanks. Claudia, we are going to let you get back to your vacation, and we will talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.